Many thanks for choosing us. Some aggrieved staff of the Complementary Education Agency, CEA, of the Ministry of Education, formerly non-formal education units, are questioning what they describe as a long silence of the Education Minister, Dr. Yahweh Dichume, responding to a petition they had filed to his office since 2021. In the petition dated 27th March, the aggrieved staff demanded a reversal of some transfers made by the Director General, Mr. Francis Esumedu, which they claimed were based on witch hunting, malice, and personal sentiments. The petitioners also accused the DG of sexual harassment, financial mismanagement, and victimization of staff, among others. The aggrieved staff say they are shocked at his recent elevation as a substantive Director General without any recourse to their petition filed 2 years ago. Some of them have been speaking with JoyNews on the basis of anonymity.
This man has been a man that even when you have a problem and you go and you want to talk with him, it's like he has no ear to listen. So what do? Even when you see a problem and you want to address it with him, your opinion doesn't matter. He is ruling. So what do you have to say? So I feel the minister is the one who placed him there. So if something is not working, and after the time we put in the petition, if he has come to our aid, then probably maybe we could have also aired our grievances to him, but nothing of that sort has happened.
If something is not even going on right and he complains, the minister doesn't have anything to do than to make him stay at post and even to extend his contract. There's nothing that we have sent petitions. I'm sure most of my colleagues have sent petitions to the minister several times, and he's doing nothing about it.
Efforts to reach the Education Ministry for a response have failed, but joining us live with more is Member of Parliament's Education Committee, Dr. Clement Apak. In fact, he's Deputy Ranking Member on that committee. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Apak. Has this petition come to the attention of the committee? It's been 2 years.
Well, Aisha, if you can hear me, let me say good morning to you and good morning to viewers. And quite honestly, this petition has not come to the attention of the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Education. But I have had the chance to see a copy of the petition. I have read it, and you are right. The date of the petition is March 2021. And so this raises a number of questions as to why we are yet to hear an outcome, or at least the petitioners have not been responded to by the minister on this matter. And now that it has come to the public domain, I believe that the committee has a basis to make an intervention with regards to why such a petition, and I would say the content, rather scandalous and
Dr. Clement Apak.
Explosive, has not been invested on the part. But let me use this opportunity to also urge. Yes, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Doc. I lost you for a while, but you are back now.
Yeah, the point I was making in summary is that the petition has not come to the attention of Parliament's Education Committee. But I have had the opportunity to see a copy of the petition. I've read it. I think that the allegations contained in the petition are very, very serious, as you have narrated. There are allegations of bribery. There are allegations of witch hunting. There are allegations of unjustified transfers. There are indeed allegations of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct. And I believe that these are very, very serious allegations that should have merited a very speedy investigation. But obviously that has not been done. And that is why the petitioners have seen the need to come public. So I want to encourage them to also petition the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Education, so that we would then also have a legitimate basis to try and see what we can do on our side, seeing that this petition from their report and the date on the petition has been in the custody of the Minister for Education for all this while, and yet no action has been taken.
Mr. Park, what's your knowledge of Mr. Sumedu and his work over the period? Do you know?
Well, as a member of the Education Committee, we usually engage with various agencies, particularly so when they come to defend their budgetary estimates. So it is only in that capacity that I have known and interacted with him. With regards to his work, his relationship with his staff, that I cannot vouch for. So I wouldn't say that I know any specific details about him, his personality, his conduct, or misconduct, so to speak. So I only know him in as far as he comes as a head of an agency with the other heads of agencies to defend their budget estimates before the Parliamentary Committee on Education.
Dr. Park, let me have a hold because Mr. Sumedu himself has been reacting to the claims by the staff. He says that the allegations are false. He says the claims are without basis. Let's listen to him in a phone conversation with JoyNews.
True. And I don't know where they are coming from. It is not true. It is not true, even to the extent of saying that I am not even fit, unwell, and collapsing. I don't know where I have ever collapsed. If you say witch hunting, then it means that you are even transferring certain people without any formal basis. The transfers were effected because we have then migrated from non-formal education to the CEA. Some people were supposed to leave and others come in.
Dr. Park, you heard Mr. Sumedu with that response. Well, it's been 2 years without any response from the minister. What can your committee do in terms of assisting these staff to really get justice or what they're looking for?
Well, Aisha, you're right. I heard his response, but you and I know that when somebody is accused, all the allegations that are contained in the petition, you can't expect him to say off the bat that he is culpable. At the same time, too, since these are allegations, we cannot swallow hook, line, and sinker the content of the petition. And that is why I feel that the only way to have resolved this matter would have been for the minister to act on it. Because if the matter had been investigated, all the parties involved, both the accused and the accusers, would have had the opportunity to appear before a committee or a panel to answer to specific questions. And as we say in Ghanaian lingua franca these days, to provide further and better particulars on the basis of which a conclusion can be drawn. But once that has not been done, clearly the accusers will continue to push their allegations, and naturally Mr. Sumedu would also continue to push his defense. So as I said earlier, it is not too late for the minister to act expeditiously, but I would want to urge the petitioners to also file a petition with the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Education. Once that is done, the committee then becomes obligated to act on the petition. But as it is now, they have not petitioned the committee, they have petitioned the minister. And from all indications, the minister has not acted in a way and manner that is satisfactory to them. So they have to escalate it to the next level by petitioning us. But as I said, if the minister or the ministry is listening, I think that this is an indictment because the matter ought to have been looked into. For a petition that is dated 2021, and to think that we are in 2023, for the petitioners to then come public, obviously, for the lack of action by the minister, it doesn't augur well for the well-being of the ministry and the agencies under it.
I'm grateful for your time, Dr. Clement Park. He is the Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee of Parliament. Now to other stories. General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayose, has reiterated the commitment of the Council to seeing the proper human rights and the family value bills in Parliament into law. Speaking at the 20th anniversary celebration of the Shalom Congregation of Evangelical Presbyterian Church in Amrahia, he said the council has always been involved in all stages of the bill and will follow through all the processes.
The coalition behind the putting forward of the bill is the Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, led by lawyer Foa Moini. That coalition, the reason why we call it a coalition is that it's made up of all the major religious groups in Ghana, the Christian Council being one of the major ones. The Christian Council, the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, the Muslim Federation, all the ecumenical bodies are part of it. We form the coalition. So we are behind the bill to start with. And in fact, when it was going through the hearing phase in Parliament with the committee, the select committee, we presented a paper on the matter. So it's not a question of coming to the media and say, hey, we are against. It's not that, but we actually are speaking to the issues. Now the issue is in Parliament, and they have gone through several stages. Now I think the stage that they have got into is it will come back to the plenary, the main floor, and then to be given a hearing. I think a second reading or something, and then a third reading or something. When we get to that point, we are going to still be present. That is the Christian or the religious bodies, not the Christian Council alone. All the religious bodies will make sure that we are present in Parliament when they take the decision, when they do the second reading and debate the issues on the floor of Parliament. We want to be there because the people in Parliament represent us. So they should not speak their mind. They should.
This morning, pension bondholders will march to the Finance Ministry to resume their picketing after the government failed to pay the coupons and principals. The group called off an initial 2-week protest after the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, exempted them from the domestic debt exchange program and promised to settle all coupons. However, after patiently waiting for the Finance Minister to honor his promise, convener of the Pension Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anane, tells JoyNews they are not backing down until their payments are settled. Let's take you live to the ministry for an update. My colleague James Aveji is pitching come there for us. James, well, we'll be getting you, but first listen to the warning from the forum.
This is life and death. And you recall that the president once said, if you can't bring the debt from back, but you can bring the economy back. If you don't pay these pensioners, they will die because they cannot get their medication. You can't bring them back. So just as the government, the president said, take a treasury bill and pay these pensioners so that they will not die. Let the economy, our debts rise a little. We can bring it back. We can bring the life of the dead back.
Let's face it, this would be like robbing Peter to pay Paul, because in the end, taking from the treasury bill market could also have consequences, which could also affect other people. Now, I go back to where we find ourselves economically. Would that be prudent?
It will be. I'm saying it is life and death. Just as when we sell our properties to take care of the sick in the society. If it hadn't happened to you before, you don't know. People have sold their property to take care of their wives, their health, their husbands, life and death. So when it comes to the point that you need money to save a soul, pensioners need their money for them to live. So if you borrow and it will slightly increase your debt, it is better to do that and save the lives of these pensioners. We've heard that some people are even now rationing their drugs. If you are supposed to take the drugs every day, and because you don't have the money, you are taking it every 3 days, I believe your sickness, your disease would go up the level, you will deteriorate, and that will lead you to your grave. If you are not getting the money to go and be on your dialysis, you are supposed to go three times a week. And people have started going once a week. Then you know they are inching closer to their grave. That is what is happening.
We can now go live to the Finance Ministry, where James Aveji has been interacting with some of the protesters. James Aveji, what have they been telling you this morning?
Well, Aisha, so the picketing has just started. They've just finished setting up the scene in order to begin the reason why they are here today. But just to lay some background to this, we know that on the 6th of February, that fateful Monday, these old citizens came to the Finance Ministry here in Accra to picket. Their message was that they want to be exempted from the then ongoing domestic debt exchange program, where government was calling on the local creditors to sign on to some new agreement that the pensioner bondholders mentioned that they do not want to join. They called that government actually gave a window for those creditors who do not want to sign on to the new terms can self-exempt, where the pensioner bondholders indicated that they do not want to self-exempt, but they want the government to pronounce them exempted. And so from that Monday, they have been picketing at the Finance Ministry. On Friday, actually, we had the former Chief Justice join them on that protest. It continued into another week of long protests, where on Thursday, which was the 16th of February, the Finance Minister on a second occasion met them and promised to exempt them as they wish. And so they took the 17th of February, which was a Friday's protest, to Parliament, when the Finance Minister met Parliament to brief Parliament on how far it has gone on the then arrangement to a domestic debt exchange program. And so that is how far they have come. And then later we saw a document from the Finance Ministry assuring them that they have been exempted by government from the domestic debt exchange program. The expectation was that after that announcement, government would go ahead to pay them their matured coupons, as well as the matured principals of some of them who have got theirs matured. But the indication we have is that from that 17th of February to today we are talking, government has not honored its obligation. And so the reason why they have resumed here today to picket the Finance Minister. I'll be speaking with Dr. Edwana Nientri to pick some thoughts from him on the arrangement so far and what exactly they intend to do. But here is a retired police officer who has traveled all the way, I'm told, from the Volta region to join them here for today's protest. We can pick some thoughts from him on why. So, sir, tell us about tell us who you are and why you have decided to come all the way from the Volta. You told me you are a retired police officer.
Yes, please. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm a retired police chief inspector, a pensioner. And in fact, after I retired, by God's grace, I was able to put something down where I will lay my head before I retired. So when I retired, I had a small thing, and I decided to invest it so that I can be using it for other projects which I've planned to do, and to the same time using it for my medical care. As I'm speaking now, I've been referred to Ho to even undergo some medical check-up, and because of money issued, I've not gone yet. And I'm having 2 bonds with Ghana Commercial Bank, precisely Sugakope branch. And on the 17th April, a coupon is supposed to be paid for a coupon. And as I'm standing here, or we are gathering here together with my colleagues. Today, 8th May, I have another what? Coupon.
Maturing.
Yes, to be paid today on the 8th May. And in fact, it's very painful for a police officer serving this country for almost 35 years. And the little I had for that my stewardship, and to be what? Taken by the government, in fact, it's very disastrous. Some of us will never tolerate this. And if they continue to do it, their descendants and ascendants will be suffer. They will suffer.
So if you go to the bank to inquire about the payment, what does the bank tell you?
No, what I know is the money after the bank has taken these things, they work with the Bank of Ghana, which is the government, Ministry of Finance. So if the government or the Ministry of Finance doesn't release the money to the banks, they will not pay individuals who have the bonds with them. So that's the problem. So when you get to the bank, they will tell you that, well, they stopped paying the what? The bonds. And with the help of our leader, Dr. Edouard Entry, some of us had got the details of how the money or the bonds are being paid when they matured, the coupons and the principal.
In summary, what's your message to the finance minister this morning?
Oh, my message is that I'm begging him. I'm supposed not to beg him anyway, because it is my own money. So there's no need for me to beg him. He should try and pay my money to me, even if they will seize the issued and give us our capital or principal money we use in the bonds. They should give it to us.
Okay. So that's the message from that retired police officer who is also here to picket this morning. Trying to get Dr. Edouard Nanienchi to speak to him to know the process so far. But Aisha, so that's the situation here this morning at the Finance Ministry. The pensioners are back to the Finance Ministry picketing, calling on government. The first phase of this was demand for total exemption from the domestic debt exchange program, which they have gotten, but the failure of government to honor its obligation has brought them back to the Finance Ministry here. The promise is that they'll be doing this for as long as it will take government to pay them the full coupons that have matured, as well as the principals of those who've got their principals matured. We'll be speaking to Dr. Edouard Nanienchi later and know how the engagement with government has been, because we know that when government came back from the IMF engagement, they set up a committee to engage with all the bondholders to streamline how they will go about this, as to whether these pensioner bondholders were at that meeting, what they have agreed on or not. We'll be getting all of those to share with our viewers. So that's the situation here at the Finance Ministry this morning, Aisha.
So there you have it from the Ministry of Finance, and you can see the pensioners lined up again. They say they will be there until their demands have been resolved by the Ministry of Finance. And you just, as you heard from the retired police officer, they will not rest until they get their money. We'll be monitoring events. Definitely we'll be bringing you more from the Ministry of Finance. But call him a presumptive candidate. Yet experts say that former President John Mahama's quest to become the next flag bearer of the NDC will not be a walk in the park. The former leader is facing stiff opposition from former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufo and former Mayor of Kumasi Kojo Bonsu. The two will be slugging it out this weekend as delegates head to the polls to choose the next presidential candidate of the largest opposition party. The JoyNews political desk has been looking ahead to that contest as we put the spotlight on John Mahama.
is a household name, and although his critics say the opposition party needs a new contender for the next presidential election, JM says he is unfazed but is rather focused on a simple rescue mission to secure victory for the opposition party in the 2024 general elections.
I am set and ready, very ready, to build the Ghana we want together with you.
But John Mahama, as former leader of the party, has had a checkered political history. After leading the NDC to victory in 2012, he has failed on 2 consecutive occasions to win any election he's contested on the ticket of the NDC, having lost the last presidential election in 2020.
Fingers on that verification machine. So a lot of things went wrong. We've done our postmortems. We realized that we have to go into the ring with our own referee. And so we're going to be much more vigilant than we were in the past. You know, you expect that the commission is neutral, and so there are some things you take for granted. But this time, we're not taking anything for granted.
But now his party is on the lookout for the next candidate to lead the NDC into the next general elections. And just when nominations opened, John Mahama threw his hat in the ring with an appeal to grassroots of the NDC to give him another chance.
And so I have offered myself on May 13th, we will go to our primaries, both for presidential. It is my hope that my colleagues with whom I am standing for the presidential primaries, we would come together as one after I have emerged as the presidential candidate, rally together in order to ensure that NDC wins the victory in the...
John Mahama is facing stiff opposition from 2 individuals he's worked with in previous NDC administrations. First is Dr. Kwabena Dufo, former finance minister, and Mayor Kojo Bonsu, former mayor of Kumasi. Both contenders accuse John Mahama of derailing the gains made by the NDC.
That requires a leader with the courage to change things, to change the status quo. That's what I will do.
Time is up for Kojo Bonsu to run.
But supporters of John Dramani Mahama counter these claims. Some executives of the party are even pledging to secure total victory for the former member of parliament for Boli Pamboy.
For goodness sake, all my regional chairmen, all the regional chairmen for National Democratic Congress, from Upper East to Western North, each of them, I say, as Ababito, support John Dramani Mahama.
I put the concerns about party unity and the decision of some executives of the NDC to declare support for John Mahama before the General Secretary, Fifi Fiavi Kwete. He told me that given John Dramani Mahama's track record, it will be difficult for any contender to overrun him. Are you aligned? I need to be blunt about it.
No, I don't need to be aligned. I mean, I don't think there is any secret at the moment as to the fact that one particular candidate seems to have the edge. But that is
John Mahama has the edge.
I mean, naturally, if you've been what you call an outgoing president, you've actually been a presidential candidate, you clearly have a certain advantage over new people who are coming. But those new people, it does not mean that they don't have a chance as well.
It is unclear what influence these statements will bring to bear on the upcoming elections. But one sign is clear, that John Dramani Mahama will give his contenders a run for their money on the 13th of May when the party goes to the polls to choose the next leader of the NDC. The former president has one clear message.
At this stage, Ghana demands experience, not experiments.
One of the constituencies in the Upper West region where the National Democratic Congress parliamentary primary will have a fierce contest is the Lambusi constituency. The contest is between former General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Kofi Bayo, and former Member of Parliament, Edward Kai Wuladeri, and research scientist, Dr. Emmanuel Kamban Payang. JoyNews' Upper West region correspondent Rafiq Salam takes a closer look at the contest.
The Lambuse constituency parliamentary seat before 2008 was a preserve of the National Democratic Congress NDC. The party has won the parliamentary seat back-to-back for 16 years in 4 elections beginning in 1992. Businessman John Baloro of the New Patriotic Party (NPP), however, surprised the pundits and connoisseurs of the political game and broke the jinx in 2008. He represented the people of Lambuse for only one term. John Baloro was defeated in the 2012 general election by a then political rookie, Edwika Iwaladere. He also stayed in parliament for 2,920 days before being defeated by former district chief executive of Lambuse, John Yelvele Baligi. To sum it up, the Lambuse constituency parliamentary seat for the last 13 years has been swinging between the NPP and the NDC. A first-time parliamentary aspirant and former general secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Tatius Kofi Beyo, however, disagreed.
We gave it out as a gift to MPP. We should never have lost the last election. So I am confident that anytime NDC is organized, united around the umbrella, there is no contest. We will take our seat. Even when we lost the seat last year, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had over 70% of the vote. How can this be a swing constituency? It should tell that something was not right. NPP has won this seat only twice, and none of them have they gone beyond 4 years. So this is a message to the current MP. He should do his best and do his parting notes and be preparing to hand over, because we are...
Before he gets a nod to represent the party, the 41-year-old consultant obstetrician and gynecologist and senior lecturer of the University of Ghana Medical School has to clear the first hurdle by winning the party's primaries. He stated that, given the opportunity, he will rebrand the party and give it the needed quality leadership it requires.
Look at Lambuse. We remain the only district without an inch of tarred roads. Look at our party office. It is nothing to write home about. We have to do this address outside because of the sheer heat, lack of a light, and anything in the party office. Dr. Beyo is coming on some basic principles. First, to revive, retool, and revamp our party. In the coming days, we are going to resource the party from all the branches through to the constituency level and get our party to work. We are going to rebrand the NDC in Lambuse to become a party that will win elections in perpetuity. And it will be a strong and vibrant force to reckon with.
Historians say a deity, Penchi Oto, led the people of Simpa from Timbuktu to their present settlement. It is a reason the indigenous people of Winneba celebrate their Butcher festival. That festival was climaxed over the weekend with the catching of the deer. Here's a report by Jacqueline Somaheboa.
The Abuachire Festival is celebrated annually every first week of the month of May with several activities. The Friday preceding the hunt is spectacular for Abuachire. Two groups, Tiafo and Dentifo, parade the town with their gods along selected routes in turns to prevent clashes. Asafu groups disperse at the end of the day to prepare for the actual hunt the following day. The Asafuhini of the Dentifu group, Theophilus Kojoham, reveals his group's preparedness for the hunt on Saturday.
Because grace, we are done with the carrying of God, which is simply to purify the town and the people as well. What happens tomorrow is the day that we are going to the bush and make sure we come down or we come out successfully with a deer. So that is what we are waiting for. Tomorrow, the Tafo as a company will leave earlier around 5:30, and then we, the Dantifo as a company number 2, will leave around 6 o'clock.
It's Saturday, the day of the official hunt. The young and able set off into the forest to hunt for the deer. When a catch is made, a message is sent to the people in town, sparkling jubilations. More people troop into the Deba grounds for a glimpse of the catch. However, this customary practice has long been shelved because sometimes the date could fall on or soon after the Christian Easter celebrations, resulting in difficulties and inconveniences for some of the would-be festival attendants. It is one of the most prominent festivals, which is celebrated with much zest and panache in the Efuti community. Jacqueline Ansuma Yebwe's report for Joy News.
The Ghana National Association of Private Schools have accused the government of suffocating them with exorbitant charges for the services they provide. They say charges from government agencies such as the National Schools Inspectorate Authority, the National Teaching Council, and the National Council for Curriculum Assessment are crippling low-cost private schools and hindering them from delivering quality education to Ghanaians. At the celebration of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools Week in Bolgatanga in the Upper West region, the president of the association, Damascus Turosong, said state agencies must support private schools because of the role they play in the education sector. Albert Sori has more.
The Ghana National Association of Private Schools, JNAPS, was formed to promote and protect the economic and social interests of owners of private schools in the development and management of effective quality schools at all levels of education. Every year, the association has a one-week celebration to discuss and reflect on various issues confronting private schools. This year's JNAPS Week celebration took place here in Bolgatanga, the Upper East Regional Capital. The theme for the celebration was "Education is a Right. Stakeholders must support low-cost private school children." Speaking on the theme, the president of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, Damascus Turosong, said many private schools in Ghana provide their services at low cost and were not making enormous profits as is often assumed.
According to a USAID report published in 2019, 80% of proprietors of low-cost private schools in northern Ghana establish their schools either out of their zeal for education or to provide a viable alternative to public schools. Obviously, children who attend these schools are from deprived homes. The USAID report again says that 92% of children enrolled in low-cost private schools within northern Ghana are either children of farmers or traders.
He said, despite the crucial role low-cost private schools play in educating Ghanaian children, the Ministry of Education, through its agencies, continues to suffocate owners of private schools with exorbitant charges.
Every social intervention policy that targets the poor and the marginalized must be supported by government. So how come government is not assisting low-cost private schools? Perhaps the Ministry of Education and the agencies under the ministry do not seem to appreciate the crucial role of low-cost private schools and private schools generally in educating the Ghanaian child. On the contrary, these agencies, namely the National Schools Inspectorate Authority, NASIA, the National Teaching Council, NTC, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, NACA, are suffocating low-cost private schools with exorbitant charges for providing services, which in some cases ought to be free. In the current harsh economic situation where parents are unable to afford even the extremely low fees charged by these schools, exorbitant charges from various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies are crippling quality education delivery to children in Ghanaian private schools.
Member of Parliament for the Soko constituency wants a review of a section of the Parliamentary Act which mandates the President to appoint a majority of ministers of State from Parliament. Patricia PJ believes the current law on ministerial appointments, as provided in Article 78, Clause 1, does not allow the legislature to conduct oversight duties properly and to properly demand accountability from the executive. According to the legislator, the law, coupled with politicization of issues of national interest and financial challenges encountered by the legislature, restricts a definite separation of power. We'll be bringing you details of that shortly. We'll take a break on Joy News Desk. When we return, we'll be bringing you business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Sunan Asogli Pa has assured of his unwavering commitment to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM education, which is expected to play a pivotal role in Ghana's future. The power producer considers STEM as a gateway to the country's innovation, progress, and prosperity. Chairman of Sunan Asogli, Yang Kun, was speaking at this year's Open Day the company organized for schools at its premises at Bong. Tama correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in this report.
Chair of Sunan Asogli Pa, Yang Kun says, as technology and science lead world advancement, it is important to invest in children through knowledge and tools. In the last few years, Sunan Asogli Pa has taken a number of steps in this direction, having sponsored 4 students to study medicine in China. Yang Kun believes this year's Open Day will spark some curiosity in the children to attain greater heights. As part of the event, the company explained to participating schools how electricity is produced before touring the plant, which has a current capacity of 560 megawatts. Chair of Sunan Asogli Pa, Yang Kun shares the need to prioritize science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM education in Ghana.
As a result, we are seizing this opportunity to promote STEM education in our schools. Science, engineering, technology, and mathematics is the gateway to our nation's innovation, progress, and prosperity. In an ever-changing world driven by technological and scientific advancements, it is critical that we provide our children with the tools and knowledge they need to thrive in this changing landscape. By focusing on STEM education, we provide our young learners with a foundation to unlock their potential and purpose rewarding careers in fields that are shaping the future.
Yang Kun sees the need to focus on practical application of knowledge instead of just theory.
As we open the doors of Sunan Asogli power to our young ones, we have arranged a tour to understand how electricity is generated. A career talk from our engineers and other fun activities. Our hope is that they live here today with a renewed sense of wonder, knowledge, and the belief that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the dedicated team at Sunan Asogli Power, who have worked tirelessly to organize this event.
From there, the company's fire brigade then took the schools through fire drill. Some participants share what they learned.
It showed us that it is a thermal plant, and then fuel is mixed with air. So when this fuel is mixed with air, heat is produced in the turbines. And this heat energy is converted to mechanical energy. Also in the turbines, the mechanical energy then moves to the generator, and the generator processes to electrical energy.
I'm aspiring to be a food technician. Yeah, so in that aspect, I'll be using a lot of fuel and other stuff. So over here, I've come to know about other fuel that they use there. They use methane over here as their main source of fuel for providing us with the electrical power and other stuff.
I would say I'm grateful to Sunan Asogli for bringing this event, because me wanting to be an architect, it has helped me to know more about electricity when it comes to building and construction. It's helped me a lot.
Sunan Asogli Pa has pledged to continue supporting education, having recently donated 100,000 Ghana cedis to UPSA to promote research. The power producer is expected to expand its capacity with a 2x254 megawatt Phase 3 project aside a solar plant, which will be a power purchasing agreement with government.
Now, Ghana boasts of the highest percentage of women business owners at 46.4%, according to the second edition of the MasterCard Index of Women Entrepreneurs. Factors contributing to this stat are not entirely positive, as many women startups lose focus and determination. Chief Executive Director of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Ibrahim Asare, is urging women to pursue entrepreneurship with determination and take advantage of available opportunities. Yes, more.
Women in entrepreneurship are significant to Ghana's socio-economic development, but due to the lack of entrepreneurial role models, training and business motivation, many women do not realize the highest potential of their businesses. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, the Efua Asabia Asare, speaking at the Ashanti Regional Women Icon 2023 ceremony, encouraged women entrepreneurs to take advantage of existing opportunities.
You would realize that you can be from anywhere. You could have attended school to any level. You could probably not have attended school, but if you are determined to make it as a woman, you have every opportunity to make it. You have people to support you. Organizations like Ghana Export Promotion Authority, we support entrepreneurship. And for some time now, we have decided that we are pushing in more for women, because when you look at even the statistics, research has shown that in Ghana, women are at the forefront of entrepreneurship. Most of them are not courageous enough to scale it up to how the men will scale it up and build big factories and all of that. But some women are daring and they are doing it. These are the women that we want to champion entrepreneurship in the various regions. So we came up with Women Icon. We want to tell the story of a woman who has pushed and made it from nowhere.
The market event aimed to showcase products and services made in Ghana by women-owned enterprises to identify potential exporters. The participants will receive support and guidance to transition into the export space through GEPA Export School Guidance. Janet Abobigu, CEO of UniJ Company, who received the Ashanti Regional Women Icon for 2023, explaining her hard business journey, urged women to pursue additional technical skills to facilitate their entrepreneurial dreams.
The journey is not easy. It's having been easy. It's hard and it's rough, and at times you don't want the next morning to come, but that is human nature. You have to give yourself, you have to have self-power, and then wake up, and the next morning you have to go and do what you like best. I normally say no art, no world, and art is Tibet. All what you are doing here is Tibet. So Tibet is very important. So I encourage especially women, because if you are doing Tibet, you can have your children and still working. So if you are a woman and something happened and you did not go to school, or even now, the Tibet, those who are doing it well, it's those who have degrees and masters.
The honoring ceremony included a market and an exhibition of Ghana-made products by women entrepreneurs. Participants who shared their experiences indicated the market event will help them improve their business standards.
You get connection, like you meet a whole lot of people from different regions and then different brands. You get to see different products or different designs with your field that you do. So you get to enhance yourself, and then you get customers too as well.
The event was in collaboration with Access Bank. Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton Yeboah.
And that's business for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Handing you back to Aisha. Aisha?
And that'll be it for the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and all the updates of the developing stories. See you again at 12.
Are we doing the dance? We're not doing the dance.
Go, 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 go.